What up guys, this is Tyconders here doing another toy review, and this time it's for something completely new and just released this year, which is the 2017 Kong Skull Island figures by Lanard. Now if you're familiar with that name Lanard, it's because they are well known for doing their Chorus line, which is, or Core Elite is the kind of line that they're currently doing, which is basically 3 1/4 inch G.I. Joe scale figures, which are kind of soldier, futuristic and soldier kind of related. And they also have, they're basically, as people used to call them, the poor man's G.I. Joes. So they started out in the 80s around the same time as G.I. Joe started with O-ring figures. Then they transitioned into the figures that they're currently using, which are the ones that they reused for doing the figures for this Skull Island sets. So basically, I'll just go through the boxes quickly. So this is the box. I picked up 3 sets. So this is the box for the Creature Contact sets, which are the smaller of the sets. Now these were around €17 over here. I think they're about $10 in the States. They're way cheaper. But you have Kong Skull Island. You have picture of Kong in the corner. Also, just as a note, in the States these are exclusive to Walmart. Over here they're in Smith's, which is our local toy chain, store chain. And as far as I know, I'm not sure if they're going to turn up in other places. You have Battle for Survival, Creature Contact. It's a windowsill packaging with the creature, and on this one it's for the Pterodactylus, I think it's called, and it has flying creature with movable wings, and then has the figure and stuff like that in it. Flipping around to the back of the box quickly, you have a picture artwork rendering of Kong versus one of the Skull Crushers, I think it's called. And then you have Creature Contact, Creature Alert, join the Monarch Expedition to Skull Island and prepare to discover the most deadly creatures on planet Earth. On Skull Island, danger lurks around every corner. With your Sky Devil combat gear, you can face the monsters head on and win. Explorer or soldier, you must be prepared to survive. You must be prepared to fight if you want to survive. And it shows some of the other sets that are available. This is the Storm Strike sets. So you have either a choice of a helicopter for the Storm Strike or a boat, kind of a patrol boat, which is the one that I picked up. You got these are the other Creature Contact sets you have. So you have this set, which is the one that I wanted to get. It comes with the Samuel Jackson figure and a small Skull Crusher and kind of a cool, kind of like a little base diorama type thing, an outpost type thing. These are the 2 sets I did pick up. So there's this Spider set, which comes with a Jeep, and the Tom Hiddleston figure, which I'll get into in a minute. And then you got this boat, little kind of landing raft boat set, which comes with the pterodactyl creature and a regular kind of generic soldier. The boat also comes with this generic soldier. They're the only ones. The only 2 that come with named characters is this one, which comes with the Samuel Jackson character and the Tom Hiddleston one. Now they don't give the characters' names on the boxes, they just have the likeness for them. The rest of the figures are just reuses of the Chorus line. So for the larger set, I'll just bring the packaging in. Very similar packaging, just says Storm Strike, Monarch Expedition Team, and same picture of Kong in the right hand corner. Just says the same up the top again. Skull Island, Monarch Expedition, Storm Strike team. Now the only difference is on the back of the box it doesn't show also available stuff, and it has a slightly different read up. So bring that in. Now it's a bit hard to read on camera, but I'll read it out. So it says, calling all heroes to Skull Island. Join the brave Monarch Expedition team on a mission to the ultimate monster war zone. When you journey into Kong's world, you better be ready for the battle of your life. Gear up and board your armoured Sky Devil attack vehicle. By air or by sea, you will face the terrifying creatures of Skull Island and take the fight to them. Your adventure awaits. So, packaging wise, it's identical. All the packaging is the same, with kind of red, kind of sunrise or sunset style imagery. Kind of very similar to the old original Kenner Jurassic Park line with the orange and red and black, and then it has like pictures of helicopters flying in the background, and that's pretty much it. And then it has like a few logos for the Sky Devils, which are repeated on the vehicles, so I'll show them off when I get to the vehicles. So quickly getting on to the figures, I'll show the coolest one first. So this is the Tom Hiddleston figure. Head likeness is pretty much dead on for Tom Hiddleston, except he has blondish hair in the movie instead of the kind of black hair we're familiar with Loki. Yeah, if you don't know who Tom Hiddleston is, he's the actor that plays Loki in the Thor films. So you got all these weapons. Now, all the weapons that come with all the figures are reuses of weapons from the chorus line. They're not original weapons for these characters. So you got this weird giant silenced pistol. At least I think it's a silenced pistol. I'm not sure exactly what it is. A super futuristic style pistol, which he probably will not use in the film. You got this little blue knife, which he will not use in the film. He has this grapple launcher, which he may have something similar in the film, but he won't have this exact one. And he has a small kind of Glock sort of pistol type thing. And he probably has something similar to that in the film, but probably won't have that specific one. He holds these weapons better in his left hand than he does in his right, because his left hander is actually designed with the trigger finger, whereas his right isn't. He is a reuse of everything bar the head is a reuse of an older core figure, which I can't remember the name of, but I had him several times as different figures. It's been reused a few times. And he has a working leg holster on his lower right leg, and the gun just slides straight into the little hole at the side of the leg. I'll go on to the other figures first, and then I'll do all the articulation, because the articulation is pretty much the same across the board. There's no difference between them. So the second figure, this is the one that comes with the boat set. Let's see if we can get some light on. So this is the dude that comes with the boat set. He is pretty much a generic soldier. He comes with 3 weapons, which he is currently holding. This large shotgun, this large gun, pistol with kind of a stock at the back, and then this overly super large shotgun, all of which he can hold really only in his right hand for the shotguns and the left hand for the pistol. Pistol doesn't really fit in the right hand too well because of the back piece, and the shotguns just fit one-handed in his hands. These guys don't have any wrist articulation, which is a shame, because if they had just added that extra bit of wrist articulation, excuse me, it would have made all the difference. They would have been able to get some cool two-handed poses out of them, but unfortunately they didn't. So the weapon just plugs into his back. He has a big plug at the back for going in. It's fairly secure. It doesn't feel like it wants to drop out. I'll just pop all the weapons off there and just get a little bit better look at them. So you got this pistol. As I said, it has like a weird stock thing that goes really far at the back. And you have this shotgun, which I've gotten a few times before. It's actually quite a cool sculpt, but it's kind of futuristic looking as well, and I've used it a few times with some of my G.I. Joe figures. And then for the last guy, this is the guy that comes with the boat. He comes with this weird little harpoon, almost looks like a harpoon gun or some sort of spear launcher gun. That looks like a wheel with the spear going into it, so it looks like a spear launcher. And again, he only holds it really in his right hand. He doesn't hold it too well. His left hand does have a trigger finger in it, but because of the way the weapon is sculpted, it looks really obscure in his left hand. It points at an angle. And the way he comes in the box is he has it kind of tied into his hand with into his hands with the kind of elastic stuff, and he is kind of holding it with a two-handed pose. But let me see if I can get it back the way it was. He's kind of holding it like that, but he doesn't really hold it too well. It's only the little plastic straps are holding it together better. And as I said, they don't have any wrist swivel, so his hand is at a really weird angle. His left hand is at a really weird angle when you get him out of the box. So, getting onto the figures, basic articulation on these guys. Heads are on ball joints. They can get some slight up and down, with the exception of the Tom Hiddleston figure. His head is actually only on a swivel. They have standard kind of shoulder articulation outside all the way around. Swivel at just above the elbow. Single jointed elbows. Nothing in the wrists, as I said. T-crotch. waist swivel T-crotch that can go forward and back, nothing out to the side, and single jointed knees and nothing in the ankles. So you can get some good posing out of them. They're not exactly the best figures in the world. As I said, most people call them the poor man's G.I. Joes because I mean, don't get me wrong, Lanard did come a long way from their first kind of first version figures. They were very plain. They've actually added in a whole ton of sculpted details on these guys. Part of which is kind of a shame because if you look at the really cool sculpted detail, it's really nicely painted at the front, but when you flip around most of the figures to the back, they just stop the paint apps halfway through the figure. So, for example, this guy, he has a painted brown belt, he has these brown straps going up his shoulders, but the minute you flip him around, those brown straps have stopped and the rest of the paint going around the back of his pockets on his belt are completely gone. Similar with his gun holster, his gun is painted at the front, but if you flip it around you can see the black paint stops halfway at the back. It would have been nice if they could have gone the extra mile and just added in that extra little bit of detail for these guys. So, figures aside, I know I've gone on a good bit. I'm going to go on with creatures. There's only 2 creatures. So, the bird set is this one. It's a really cool bat-like creature. It's supposed to be a pterodactyl. Comes with the little guy in the little landing raft boat thing, which I'll go into the vehicles last. It's interesting that they say movable wings on the box, but it doesn't actually have movable wings. I was expecting it to have bendy wires in the wings, but it doesn't. It just has, you can move the wings like that, but you can't actually pose the wings or anything like that. He's basically unposable. He doesn't have any articulation points. He's very rubbery, so he doesn't really even stand. He just flops to the ground. But he's a really cool looking figure. If you had some sort of flight stand that would make him look like he's flying, you'd probably look really, really cool. Sculpt wise is actually quite nice, and paint wise they actually did a little bit of, went the extra mile on his paint. So when I first saw these guys for the prototypes, I didn't think they actually had any faces. I thought they were just like all tentacles, massive tentacles at the front of the face, but it actually has a bird, beaks. It has this really weird long pointy horn thing at the front. It has 3 sets of eyes, which is quite weird because they're supposedly dinosaurs, but I'm assuming they're supposed to be like what dinosaurs would evolve into if they continue to evolve. Then you got these weird little tendril spike things on the bottom of his jaw. He has 2 claws on each foot, and then 2 claws on the wings, and technically 3 if you count the bone that's supposed to be the 3rd claw. Coming around to the back, he's quite nicely painted. The paint apps actually continue on the back, unlike the figures. And then you got these row of spines that are actually painted as well, which is interesting. They could have just left it the same kind of greenish colour. They're actually slightly painted with a almost bony kind of yellowy colour. But all in all, it's quite nice. I like the paint details on this guy. He looks really cool. And then the other creature that comes in the creature set, which is the one that Tom Hiddleston, this is the one I really enjoyed, or really looking forward to. It's the giant spider. It has articulated legs just at the base of the body. Other than that, it has no other articulation, but it looks really, really cool. Sculpt wise, paint wise, it's really nicely painted. You got all this kind of orangey brown or orangey tan colour for the thorax, and underneath you got this furry kind of sculpt for the top. You have these really creepy eyes with 2 eyes here and then a whole set of eyes up behind it. You got these giant fangs, little pinchers, and all these movable legs, which do look like the bamboos that you see in the trailer. Bit out of scale. I mean, in the film, the way they showed them in the film, they were nearly as tall as Kong himself, but this guy stands just a little taller than the actual figures. Let me see if I can bring this down a bit. Bear with me a second. So you can see he stands just a little bit taller over the figures. So that's it for the creatures. Now the Jeep set comes with 1 extra accessory that the other sets don't, and that is this little fence. For whatever reason, Tom Hiddleston can hide behind a small little barbed wire fence to stop him from being attacked by the giant spider, if you so want him to. Or you can just you can have him set up the fence if you want. But he comes with this Jeep. This Jeep is really, really cool. It's based on the Willy Jeep, I think it's a Wiley Jeep. Has a flip up panel at the front for the visor, steering wheel that can turn. Has mud paint apps on the front of the tires and the side of the the tires at the front and the side of the Jeep. And it's a bit shame that they didn't continue that paint mud. I need to move the spider guy out of the way because he's blocking me getting this. It's a bit of a shame that they didn't continue the paint splatter for the mud splatter onto the front of the Jeep, because it makes no sense that both sides of the Jeep are covered in mud and crap and there's like nothing on the front of the Jeep. Now it comes with this big piece at the back. Now again, as they're saying, these are all reuse of core vehicles, so I have a feeling this used to have some big gun launcher type thing on it, but they just took off for the purpose of remolding it. It even has a tow hook on the back, so I'm assuming when it was in the core line you might have a little thing that it could pull along. It does, it does have a removable jerry can, which is quite nice, so technically you get an extra accessory with that. But all in all, the wheels will roll quite nicely. The olive green army colour is quite nice. You have the, as I said, the Sky Devils logo at the front. It has a bit of paint apps. Now, here's the thing about these vehicles. Just like the figures, they have to do the paint apps. So at the very front of the Jeep, you got Sky Devil. At the very back here, you got Sky Devil logo. Here, you got the kind of faded out worn JP logo. But the minute you flip it around, all those painted details are gone. You don't have a matching symbol on the back or matching paint logo on the front. Now, you don't tend to have that with the little boat that comes with the boat set. And this is that boat set. It's quite nicely painted again with the dark olive. Green. Has some actually stress marks painted onto it, kind of like silver dry brushing. Has this cool teeth mark at the front. These cool devil symbol. Got the Sky Devils thing here. Again, it's a reuse of a Coors vehicle. Now it does have stickers on it, so this 75 logo here is a sticker. This panel with the steel plate is a sticker, and this caution stripe is actually a sticker as well. But it comes with these swivel guns. The little guy can sit in it quite nicely, and you can actually hold onto the little gun here, so you can actually have him motoring along, having a nice day with his big boat guns on it, and then out of nowhere the bat thing comes in, and the pterodactyl thing comes in and rips him out of his little boat. So it has some good play value, so there you go. And then for the big set, now I'm going to have to move my camera back a bit, I'd say, to get this thing into shot. So bear with me a moment. Let's push everything back out of the way. So this is the boat that comes with the larger set. Just like the older core vehicles, it's actually on wheels, but the front wheel is slightly skewed so that when you're rolling it along, it kind of bobs up and down as if it's in the water. It's really nicely detailed, but again, you got all this kind of weathering and scoring at the side of the boat, and this is the way it looks in the packaging. You got all these stickers, the big logos, the caution stripes, all this really nice logos. But as you can tell where I'm going with this, if you flip it around to the opposite side, nothing. It's completely bare, no corresponding stickers or anything, and you don't get any stickers in the box to add them yourself. No paint scarring. It makes no sense that one side is completely scuffed up, other side is completely blank. But they are fairly cheap. This set was about 22. It's a bit more pricey than the other sets, but it is quite nice. It comes with this rotating launcher at the back. Now again, as far as I know, it's probably a reuse of an older core vehicle or one of the newer ones, but it is quite nice. You have this opening up canopy. Now I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that inside, but there's a seated area, little control stick for the driver, and then you got two areas that you can stand guys in, a couple of peg holes that you can actually plug people's feet into. There's this little control panel back here for the missile launcher, I'm assuming. And then when you flip down the lid, or the top of the boat, it's a bit finicky to get into place. You have a top gun here, and you actually have a area that you can stand a guy or sit a guy in. It actually has a seat, so if we just grab someone there quickly, so he can sit into the top area and be motoring around along firing his guns. These guns at the front don't do anything, but they look really cool at the front. At the back here there's actually little peg holes as well, and it's quite nicely sculpted inside. You got peg holes that you can stand guys up on. Now don't think it's a small little boat. The motorboat doesn't actually fit onto this. Kinda would have been cool if you could get the small little motorboat onto the thing, so you could have it like the guy is getting ready to take off. But you can just use, if you wanted to, just move these things around. You just have it sitting there behind it, so that, you know, if you wanted for a display, you could have it sitting there behind it, so the guy's getting into his boat before they ship off. And all in all, it's quite nice. I do like the paintwork on the side that's painted. It's quite nicely done. As I said, you got stress marks. They did continue the stress mark stuff on the top section of the boat, but for the lower hull, it's all non-existent. But it's quite nice. You got these missile pods at the side as well, like warning, keep clear, that you get to see. I don't think they're missiles. I think what they're is flare launchers, possibly. But you got all the stuff on the side. You even have this anchor that goes along one side as well, which is quite nice. But it is a shame that they didn't continue to paint apps. I mean, you could do it yourself if you wanted to. You could get some small black paint and dry brush it on just to give it the same weathering that's on the opposite side. But it would have been nice if the actual company had gone ahead and done that. So I've gone on for quite a bit. It's going to be one of my longest videos, so I'm going to try and stop here. So there you go, guys. There's a quick look at the new 2017 Kong Skull Island figures. Everything's a mess over there at the moment, but I will I will post this up as soon as I can get it uploaded. And as I say in my videos, if you like the videos, click like on the like section. If you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe, and feel free to comment in the comment section below. I do intend to get the other sets. I will eventually get them as far when I see them in store. And I will probably get the giant Kong figure as well to review that too. So there you go, guys. Just a quick video review. Well, I wouldn't say quick, but a video review for 3 of the sets from the new Kong film. So I hope you enjoyed the video.